Okay, so welcome to part 2 in this Internet Marketing for Small Business. In this video we're going to look at some techniques or the art form. So I'm going to write down here, I'm going to write down techniques or art. And the reason I say art because it's a fluid, moving thing. It's something that you make up as you go along, but there's certain things that you can try. So you can try some of the following techniques that I've got written out here. You could try paid PPC, which involves keyword research. Okay, that's keyword research there. And if you do your keyword research right, and you hit the mark, your PPC will go like gangbusters. If you do press releases, if you produce content, you hold events, or you do something interesting. So this is quite sort of open to interpretation. It's quite airy-fairy, really. You could do something interesting and then do a press release, write out a press release, and then publish that press release to your marketing channels. You could do SEO optimization, so search engine optimization. You could go to your website, having done the keyword research here, or a different form of keyword research. Keyword research is kind of like if we extend the analogy of fishing here. If this is fishing for customers here using the internet, then and we extend the analogy, keyword research is kind of like putting a radar on your boat so that you can see the fish before you even get there. You can see the shoals of fish, and so that's what keyword research is kind of like, and that's why it sort of loops back from the tracking systems you have. You can actually track what people are typing in to find you, and then it gives you ideas, and then you can kind of say, well, last time that worked really well, so maybe we'll do some research on that and put our radar on there and see what things, what words people are interested in. And you can also do, at the same time as doing keyword research, once you hit a gold mine, once you hit a good vein of gold of people that are interested in whatever you're offering, then you can also do competitor research using the same sort of techniques. So you can research your competitors, and then you can see what they're doing. You can actually copy the things that they're doing if it's working. So let's move on to some other techniques that we've got here. We've got content, link baiting. We've got content is an interesting thing. If I write content as a feature here, as producing content, and I put a big box around it because there's a lot of parts to content, and I might do a video on it, but essentially the way I think about it is a spectrum. So there's really good content, there's stuff that you take a lot of time working on, producing, and you really hope will go a long way. So if you write a book, for instance, that's a really good bit of content that you've really worked hard on. You've put a good bit of your life into working on that. But you've also got a whole range of stuff underneath that. That's top level content, high level stuff. And then you've got mid-range stuff. I don't know, maybe this is a mid-range thing, I'm not sure. It's something I've definitely spent a long time thinking about. But it's sort of stuff that you might just sort of, it's not really professionally done, but it's still quite good quality. And then you've got low quality stuff that you might scrape this stuff. You might even take it from someone else's content, mix it up, rehash it, and use it again in a different format. You might pay someone just to write a cheap article for you. That sort of thing. That's low quality content, and that does a job because it's useful. It's useful for submitting to large article directories and getting a little bit of coverage. But you can never really expect it to really achieve masses for you on a small scale. I mean, if you have a lot of it, you can throw it around the place and hope that some of it will stick. If you throw enough mud against the wall, it might stick. But let's move on from content. I can talk about that more at a different time. Let's instead go to in the content as well, at the low-level stuff, you might also have something that's quite useful, but it's social media interaction, and I'm actually going to pull that out and write it as a separate thing. It's interaction. It's social media, but the real stuff, not just. I mean, some people think that social media is just setting up a Facebook page, okay? And I suppose I probably used to think that a long time, a few years ago, but it's not. Social media is interacting with people. it doesn't matter if it's a Facebook page, a TripAdvisor review, some other social media outlet. It's interacting with people and actually saying hello and responding to them when they say something. You say something back, and just being on the button and really people buy from people that are nice to people. So be a person on the internet. So interaction, that's a big thing. And there's actually systems, the social media systems you can set up to keep track of when people say stuff. The best way is really just to get it emailed to you as soon as someone says something, and then you can be checking your email and then click on the button and hit reply, and you can reply to them. You've also got, as part of SEO, you could do what's called CRO, which is conversion rate optimization, which is different to SEO, because SEO is based on keyword research. Conversion rate optimization is based purely on statistical analysis. So you basically go to your website, you look at the homepage, and then you see maybe people clicked on this link so many times. Perhaps we should move this link up to the top. Perhaps we should try changing the color and see if more people like our website. And so it's about testing little things like color, interaction, where the buttons are located, and if you get really good, you can really squeeze a lot more out of your website than you're already getting. What else have we got there? We've got bum marketing. That's like kind of putting your name into directories just to try and hook people, but that's not great. You've got, along with events and PR, you can also do what I call, or what is called, joint venture, which is JV. And that essentially means find other people that are related to your business in some way. So if you are a restaurant, you could go to the local pub where people might go after they've had a meal at your restaurant, or the local event venue like a stage or a cinema where they might go after they've gone to your restaurant. And so you might feed through from your restaurant doing something interesting to someone else doing something interesting, and the two of you can work together and make the whole effect of what you're doing much more powerful. And you can say, get joint tickets for the two, and there's a special night on this night, and ask your entire audience to turn up on this night. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about here, very briefly, is Blue Cow Thinking, which I've just read the fantastic book by Seth Godin, and he wrote Blue Cow Thinking, and I'm not going to go into exactly what that is, and this is my version of a cow. It's not great, but it is supposed to be a cow, and if you have Blue Cow Thinking, it's essentially looking at just your audience, and instead of worrying about the whole 2 billion people out there, you just worry about maybe just the 1,000 people or so that are actually interested, that would be, not just interested but fanatic about whatever you're offering, would really love it, and so if you can just grab hold of just a proportion of people, just a very small group of people that are really tight-knit, interested in what you're doing, then that's much more powerful than a whole 2 billion, a whole sea of people that don't really care. And that is the case. Most people don't care, unfortunately, about what you're doing. They might stop in, they might say hello, but they don't really care about what you're doing. So there's a few people that will really love it, and if for those few people, you should really care about them, and that's where this interaction and everything you do here should be focused for those core people. And I say 1,000 because there's a certain economic model about having 1,000 people as if you have 1,000 core fans, then you can actually build a whole business on that, because the economic power, the tipping point and the nexus of people in just 1,000 is got enough momentum in it to sustain any business if you needed to. So reaching 1,000 is kind of a good goal of baseline core group customers, and once you hit that target, then everything else is a bonus. But you've got your core fan base, your core customer base, which you can work from. So we've done some techniques, an art form of stuff that you can do, and it's an art form because you can play with this. It's brushstrokes. It's doing stuff in the moment that seems right, and something will work one time and then it might not work again. So it's really it's living in that space where you just do it off the top of the hat sometimes, off the cuff, and it has an effect for your business. And you have to be living, breathing your business to know what might work right now. But once you've built the structure, this stuff here, once you put in the basic structure, this techniques and art, they come along as you start working at it. Now, in the next video, I'm going to talk about the till, which is actually probably the most important thing in this whole structure, but I needed to talk about these things first before I could talk about the till. But in fact, if I was actually designing this whole internet marketing plan for a business, you would probably talk about the till first, because you want to know how people are going to pay you if you're running a business off their stuff. So I'll see you in that video.